Rough sleeping is the very visual side of homelessness. It's there, laid bare. According to the latest figures, there are 484 people rough sleeping in our region, which is down 131 on last year, but nearly double what it was 10 years ago. It may be spring-like, but rough sleeping at any time is grim. Outside temperatures still dive after dark. One night recently was -7. TV presenter Jake Humphries, who lives near Norwich, shivered at the thought. He told Twitter he was heading into Norwich to buy a hot breakfast for anyone who spent the night under the stars.
It was actually Florence, my little girl, she's sort of quite astute and tuned in to people that she thinks are less fortunate than herself. She was the one that actually said, "I hope nobody was sleeping out last night," and it just hit me like, oh. In some ways it was a futile thing because it was just a sort of a little message on social media and it got a couple of people some breakfast, and the issue is much wider than that, but it just felt like I wanted to do something, and I thought it was good for Florence as well, and I made sure that she came with me.
His actions, though well-meaning, merely scratch an uncomfortable surface, but they brought him into contact with the housing charity St Martin's, who showed him around their city centre hostel.
This place is brilliant and heartbreaking at the same time, because you walk around here and you think how amazing that there's these staff and there's these rooms and you can stay here for up to 2 years, and if you've got any sort of substance abuse, they'll help you through that and they'll get you into permanent housing. But at the same time, you go into one of the residents' rooms, which I've done here, and you see photos of them as a little baby with their parents in a house. You see photos of them with their friends in a house and a smile on their face. That was almost the most heartbreaking part for me walking around here, was seeing the reminders of a sort of previous life.
There is some good news. Rough sleeping is going down, albeit from an all-time high, and now there's money to try and make it go away within 8 years. Councils with the worst rates of rough sleeping are getting a share of £34 million from the government to try and sort out the problem, to halve it by 2021 and end it completely by 2027. 3.9 million of that pot is heading our way.
Firstly, we have to have that targeted investment into outreach services, because otherwise people won't engage with us. The second part of the equation is we have to really work backwards from the years and years of underinvestment in some of our really critical services, our housing services, our community support services, social care, drugs and alcohol. You spend the money that's needed in terms of building the houses, then actually you make savings in other areas. If somebody's housed appropriately, they're not going to need such support from the health sector or from social care or mental health. So we're not quite getting that right. We're not putting our priorities where they need to be.
Make a cup of tea, put a record on.
Helping the homeless is more than just providing shelter. It's about investing in human beings. St Martin's has a programme called Under One Roof, where there's ongoing support. They do stuff like yoga, cooking, well-being and music.
One of the courses we run here is a pre-tenancy course. The course deals with things like applying for housing and that kind of thing, but it also deals with finances, budgeting, health and nutrition, all the other things that go around not just getting, but maintaining accommodation and building a life, really.
It's the first year in nearly a decade that we haven't seen an increase in rough sleeping, but according to St Martin's, the factors that still keep it high are still there. A broken welfare system, a lack of social housing and affordable rents. Much still to do.